Hello and welcome to the Swingin Report Show. This is episode 31. This was called Restructuring because it has to do with Sega restructuring. And it's me. This episode is only me and Barry.
Yo,
So let's get into it.
all right, let's do it.
All right.
So, who are you, and what have you been doing, and what have you been playing?
I'm George, and I've been I don't know. We haven't done this in a month, so I kind of been up to a lot of stuff. Had my birthday in the beginning of April.
Happy birthday.
Late birthday.
Happy late birthday. I gave you your gift. I wrote an article.
Yes, it was a good article too.
It got us in trouble.
Yes, and been reading comics. My a friend got married, so it's been a pretty cool month. April was really busy, like
Yeah,
very busy.
same here.
But yeah, it's a pretty good month. I've been reading a lot of Mark Miller, I think is his name. His comics. He
hmm
does like Marvel stuff. He did Kick-Ass.
hmm
He did Old Man Logan. Have you ever read that?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
It's like in the future, like in 50 years, like it talks about how Wolverine is not a superhero anymore, and all the superheroes have died, and
hmm
like, he lives in a ranch with his family, and he hasn't gotten in a fight for 50 years, and like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a good comic,
That
and
sounds good.
I read his other stuff, like his like independent stuff, I guess, more independent.
hmm
Nemesis, which is about a guy that just goes around killing people. Like he gets targets and then he kills them,
hmm
but it's usually high value targets like cops and stuff, like hero cops.
hmm
And then his other one, Superior, which is kind of like an homage to old school. You know that hero, Captain Marvel?
Yeah, I remember him.
It's kind of like that. It's like what
Okay.
would happen if a kid could turn into, a superhero right now, like a cheesy superhero.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I read Kick-Ass 2, which is going to be turned into a movie, I think, soon.
I think it is.
Yeah. The comic and the a lot of the key plot points in the comic book have been changed in the first one, so it should be interesting.
Nice.
They made it more positive because the comic book is way more depressing.
I thought the movie was depressing.
You know, in the end, he gets a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't get a girlfriend in the other one. He doesn't get anything. He just gets a bunch of people killed.
Oh,
So it gets even that's more depressing.
okay. Yeah, I could see that then.
And you know how Hit Girl's dad?
hmm
You know, in the movie they just say he's trying to get revenge against the mob because they killed his wife and he was a hero cop.
hmm
Well, in the comic book he says that, but in the end they find out that he was just a nerdy geek guy that wanted to become a superhero, so he decided to take his daughter with him. There was no revenge. He's just bullshitted the whole thing. He was just bored.
I can see why they changed that then, because none of the characters are really likable.
Yeah, none of the characters are likable, especially not Red Mist, which he's like the worst character in the like you hate him so much in the comic book.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's what
cool,
I've been up to. How about you,
nice.
Barry?
Yeah, I've been busy in April too. Just lots of work, and that's about it, really. And I mean, to be honest, there hasn't been much Sega stuff going on to talk about aside from restructuring, which was all like speculation to begin with. We really didn't know anything,
Yep.
and there wasn't any new games to talk about except for the same old stuff from the past year.
This you're talking about April, right?
Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, personally, like I've been tweeting. I got an iPhone, so I feel so
No
high
Siri
tech
though.
now. No Siri, no, I didn't want.
I,
I couldn't afford that.
I was somebody had it the other day and we were talking about it, and he's all, yeah, it's pretty worthless. Like,
It is worthless because I see people use it, and I'm like, why don't you just open up the like restaurant finder app and look for a restaurant?
yeah. And then the guy there was like, I kept on telling it stuff like, how do I get rid of a dead body? And it's like, you want me to Google that for you? And I'm like, no,
Yeah,
I want you to tell me.
yeah. So I've been enjoying it. I've been getting into some of the games that I've been missing out on. I downloaded Samurai Blood Show and that's pretty good. Are you able to play that on Android?
No, I don't think so. I think it's iOS only.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's good. It's like a tower defense combined with like a card fighting game, and
Nice.
you build a deck and then you put the cards on the battlefield and they turn into little like samurai drawings that walk along a scroll, and it's fun. I mean, it's 99 cents, and there's in-app purchases, so I'll like, hit a wall pretty soon, and I'll have to drop some money on it. But until then, it's fun. And then I tried Infinity Blade, which is like insanely detailed graphics for the iPhone. They use the Unreal Engine.
Nice.
So that's like I was kind of shocked that it was actually, because I didn't know the iPhone could actually do anything better than maybe like the 3DS, but I was wrong. And I downloaded Lego Harry Potter 2 today just because it was like they said it was like the Vita version. I figured if I could get a Vita game for $5, it's worth it. So
Yeah, that's true. That's why I don't get like, okay, when you go on the cell phone, they're like, look at this game, it looks like a Vita game, 99
yeah,
cents, guys. And then when you go on the fucking Vita, it's like $50, dudes. Come on, give me $50 for this game. And it's like, what the
yeah,
fuck's going on here? Like, why can't a phone game be even a dollar, $5, but a Vita game has to be 10 and above? Like, I think the
yeah. I mean,
cheapest one I
it's
seen was like a port for Stardust,
hmm
which came out like 4 years ago on the PS3
yeah.
for $10.
I mean, really, the best combo is having one of the portables and having an iPhone or like an Android, because then you can get all those games that release on all the devices, and they're insanely cheap on one of them, and you have to spend like $40 for the like little tiny microchip to put into your 3DS for the other.
That's true.
So, but I've been enjoying it. I'm going to start doing some Instagram stuff once I actually leave the house and have things to take pictures of.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that Instagram later actually.
Yeah.
Um, Playing, what have you been playing? Oh, you already told me the iOS
Yeah, I've been
stuff.
playing that, and oh, and I bought Binary Domain at Target for $40, so I've been playing that too.
It's a lot of people say it's generic. I think it has some generic. I guess I don't know. I don't know why people call it generic. I never heard anybody call. I never heard that many people call other third-person shooters generic.
Yeah,
And I always think it's a stupid phrase because I think most games these days are generic, even if they're like, like the people that have been calling binary domain generic are the people that like Japanese style art,
yeah,
and
yeah.
even the Japanese style art is generic now. So,
Well, I mean, it's not so much generic as it is recognizable, because as soon as I got into it, I knew what to do. I wasn't like going, "Oh wait, how do I play this game?"
and what's I don't see what's wrong with that. Like that's the problem with I think that's a difference between Dead Souls and which is I've been playing. I should already do a review, but
Hmm.
I might actually do the first video review on that game. So
That'd be cool.
that'd be pretty cool. But the problem with Dead Souls is that it is not conventional. It isn't like every other game. Like they try to do their own controls, and
Hmm.
it kind of works, and then it kind of doesn't work. But I don't understand why you have to go your own route when there's already a formula that works. I'd rather just have the formula that works and move on and have fun in the game, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at this point in the genre, you really don't have to reinvent much. You really just need to give good graphics and good, story, and just have the gameplay not get stale. And that's what I like it, because I was playing. I'm at chapter 3 right now, but I was like, I've never gotten to a point where I get sick of the game, because it always throws me into a new kind of like, there's the driving segment, and then you're
Yeah.
like going through a factory, and then there's a boss, and then before you even get tired of shooting stuff, they put you. I did the little thing where you ride the little carts through the factory.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, and it's like getting on a Disney ride, because like when you go on those rides and they go, "Oh no, something's going wrong," and like the French robot's like, "Oh no, monsieur," and he like goes up into the ceiling, and you're like, "Oh shit, what do I do?"
What I really like about it also is that they actually added boss fights, which for some reason have
Yeah.
been. I'm not saying they're the best boss fights ever, but I think in this generation they're the best boss fights in the third person shooter because
Hmm.
I played Uncharted, which is considered one of the better better third person shooter games, but the
Hmm.
bosses suck. Everybody knows the bosses suck. And then
Hmm.
Gears of War has bosses. I don't even think they have bosses. So I think that's
Huh.
cool. I think that's something that every game should have, a big boss that you have to climb and to kill.
Yeah, that spider was insane when I was blowing off his legs one by one.
Yeah. So I like that stuff. That's what I like about it. You can tell it's Japanese because they focus on bosses. Western
Hmm.
games seem to not care anymore.
It's a good point.
But
So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
you want to talk about the site news?
Yeah, let's get into site news. Let's start the first one. We are now using our YouTube channel for podcasts, so subscribe to it.
Yeah, because we're gonna start posting every week, every podcast on there. It's just
Nice.
easier, right?
Yeah, I mean, are we still doing the Sega Media?
I don't know. I haven't uploaded one in a while, and right now I'm thinking, why bother? It's just
I
another
think
thing I have to
this.
upload it to.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Sonic ones do a little bit better there, just because it's more of a Sonic-y kind of
Site.
site, even though
Yeah.
they don't say it. Plus, YouTube's just so accessible.
When we started putting the podcasts on there. I mean, we're
Hmm.
not getting a million views on it, but we're getting like at least 450 for a few days. So I mean, there's people looking at it, and a lot of the traffic is coming from people searching on YouTube. So
That's true. And I did a YouTube search for Segavits, and I was finding other people who were posting like snippets of our podcasts. So it's better we just put them up there before other people do.
that's right.
There was one, this guy was talking for like 15 minutes about like the Ian Flynn interview, and he was like giving a Cliff Notes version of it.
Oh, well,
It was
I don't
kind
even. Why do people bother doing that stuff?
of Sonic comic fans, I guess.
Oh,
No, no one does that for our show.
yeah, I know. People hate us. It's probably because we just talk about disgusting stuff, and they're like, oh, they curse too much. Fuck.
I know. Fuck them. Anyway, do you
Oh,
want?
your features. You remember these features? Correcting
I
Koteku and the other one you did?
Yeah, those were fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised one time I did one, I think,
Hmm.
correcting IGN, and the writer actually went on the forums and like got pretty mad at us. So I'm
I remember
surprised
that.
nobody did, but I know Koteku just ignores everybody.
Yeah, they do.
They know what they're doing. They're bullshit. They know they're bullshit.
I don't know. I mean, it reminds me of when you go into like game stores and the employees are just talking nonsense, even though they're the ones who work there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I don't get paid to write anything, and yet I have more sense than some people who get paid to actually write these things. And like that one, it was, I mean, maybe I wasn't so much correcting as I was clarifying things in his article. But it's like if you're going to write, like you go to Sega16.com and they have better articles that get more in depth with retro games than that Kotaku
Kotaku.
article did.
The problem with Kotaku is that they, they they're more interested in ad revenue now than they are in actually writing. Like I've
Yeah.
seen them condense a big long thing into like three sentences, and then they put
Hmm.
like an ad that's like way bigger than the freaking writing, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, why the
And
fuck am I
like,
going to the site?
yeah, and especially with their article on the Sega announcement, it's like I was saying with when you go into a game store, people tend to like trust the people who look like they're the professionals. And so when they write that kind of article, people are going to go, "Yeah, I heard that Sega was only making four franchises a year and they like canceled everything."
They're
And it's
dead
like, "Oh, where'd
now.
you hear that?" I read it on Kotaku. It's true, you know.
Yeah, I know. And then that's the reason. Okay, Kotaku used to be a pretty good, like they used to be a pretty decent blog when they were like, like I don't know, 4 years ago or whatever.
Hmm.
It just seems like they just been more trashy lately. Like they just don't care anymore. They got all the traffic they need, and
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot of stories on them, especially on Reddit or Reddit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I call it Reddit because it sounds, I think, better, but whatever.
Riddick.
Um, yeah, like Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of users got banned for correcting articles. Like you corrected an article.
I
Uh,
did, yeah.
yeah, if you commented that, you would have been banned.
Jeez.
And these are longtime users, like they've had an account since the site started and shit, and they're banning these people, and it's like I would never ban anybody that tells me, unless they're just posting like shit they're not supposed to post in the comments. But
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever banned anybody from commenting. Well, we banned two people. I mean, for 2 years, that's pretty good.
That's really good, I think. But
So
and I mean that's the thing too with I think getting your news nowadays, and it's not just games, but like movies or any kind of like pop culture stuff. You get better news when you're talking to unpaid fans who are writing about the stuff because if they're putting time into it and they're not making money, they're actually doing it with, a passion and with intelligence rather than people who are just paid to write the stuff. And the only difference is that the people who get paid to write the stuff, they get more doors open to them. So they might get better videos and interviews than the fan sites, but at the same time, the fan sites report things a little more, or they report things correctly. And also nowadays, like with the All Stars Transformed thing that happened, we were invited alongside actual paid journalists. So
We're moving up in the
even
world.
yeah, so even then, like the walls kind of, or the distinction between the two is kind of getting blurry. So
I'm pretty sure a lot of the bigger sites are probably like, oh hell no, not these guys. They're probably gonna start correcting our bullshit.
I remember when Shiggs was talking about on the forums, he was like, "Oh, I see OXM is here." I could just imagine like these professionals, and then Shiggs is standing there with his like his little camera and his Sega Bits badge.
And his Sonic shirt. So
Yeah,
like a funny Sonic shirt.
yeah,
Man, I should have. I'm actually. I don't know. I kind of wanted to go, but I didn't have a camera, so I'm glad I probably didn't go. Because I wouldn't have
yeah.
done a video review, an interview, because I have to invest in a camera. I was actually thinking about it today. I was looking at some online HD cameras.
Hmm.
I mean, it's only going to benefit the site. So,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I live 3 hours away from San Francisco, so it's not that long of a drive.
You might as well just visit them every weekend.
Okay, I'm just gonna start living there. I'm gonna ask him, give me the keys. I'll sleep under your desk.
Fan pass.
Oh, well, yeah, we're also on Instagram now.
Yes,
Yeah,
we've sold out.
we sold out. We're on Instagram. We only post pictures usually of interesting Sega stuff or like retro stuff. Very
Yeah.
rarely will we post news
Hmm.
unless it's very important. I think I did one picture of a Sonic Transform, I think, or Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed.
Right.
And so yeah, if you guys like some cool retro pictures, follow us, like our stuff, give us sexy comments. We kind of like that stuff.
And request stuff you want to see, because
Yeah, because we run out of
we
ideas.
if you're getting sick of screenshots, then we can put like collection pictures or
Yep,
like
we're gonna put
penises or
anything.
something.
I did a lot of cosplay stuff too.
Yeah, that stuff people like the cosplay.
They love seeing women dressed like Sega characters.
Yeah, or men dressed like dwarfs.
That too. That's actually my fetish. Let's keep that on the down low right now.
That's
Um.
coming up later.
Oh, April Fool's, your article you did.
Well, I knew that
You got to be
in
subtle.
in past years we've done some pretty weird stuff, and I when I woke up on April 1st, I was like, oh, Shady's gonna do something, and he didn't do anything, and so I thought of something that would be kind of ridiculous, but not so ridiculous that it's like, Sonic becomes mascot for Sonic Burgers. Um, and it was kind of funny because some people got mad at me, and one person's like, "This is a really stupid April Fool's."
Wait. Before we get into the Bayonetta thing,
Yeah,
there's actually a Sonic commercial I saw. I think I posted on Twitter. There was a Sonic commercial I saw a couple nights ago. I was watching Swim because
yeah,
everybody in the family watches Adult Swim. It was on, and there was a Sonic commercial, the restaurant, and it was
yeah.
Outrun themed. Have you seen
That's
it?
awesome.
It's
I haven't seen it, and
it's
I've actually been searching the Sonic Drive-In YouTube page, and it's not on there. So
yeah, it was weird. It was like it had like them doing the radio, like they do it in the game.
yeah,
And then and then it shows them driving like 2D, and I was like, this is so freaking Outrun-ish. And then like they show them, and they're like just driving, and then they show the map selection. When they shows what course you went to.
yeah.
Well, they shows the same course as Outrun, but instead of they choose the path to go to Sonic Burger, the restaurant.
That's crazy. Do you
And
think they secretly want to be bought out by Sega, and Sega has a line of restaurants
man, that'd be pretty cool actually, like a Sega themed restaurant.
like Sonic and Sega Drive-In racing?
Uh, yep, yeah. I think that would be pretty cool. Sonic
I'd
themed
go there.
restaurant? Probably do better.
I think I've always wanted to have like a Sega themed bar.
That'd be pretty cool, but like a lot of the Sonic fans can't drink.
Exactly. They don't come in.
They'll stay outside room and drink inside.
I'll put a sign on the outside. You have to be 21 and bitter about the franchise in order to enter. You can't be 17 and in love with Cream the Rabbit.
Yep. Which is the best character in the Sonic franchise, we've agreed.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, talk about your Bayonetta. Why did you use Bayonetta to save Anarchy Reigns?
I was mainly doing it just because I was pissed off at the time that Sega wasn't saying anything, and they still aren't. And
Nope.
yet, when I crack open my copy of Binary Domain, it says on the back of the booklet, "Anarchy Reigns coming this July." So I don't know. I'm split. I don't know if they're going to cancel. They've canceled it and they just don't want to break the news because they don't want to be hated, or if they're just going to quietly release it and not spend any more marketing budget on it and just take
Like
it as a
like
loss.
binary
And
domain.
what's that?
Like binary domain didn't get any funding.
Yeah, I mean, they said Rhythm Thief is still coming out, so that's the same month as Anarchy Reigns. So I think they're too far in it now to cancel. That's the thing. The game's made
Yep.
and they've done the ads.
They should release it
Um,
more into the summer.
that's a good point.
Like a month, there's no games. Release it and just promote the hell out of it.
Yeah.
You could even put it on the trailers. The guys that are making that new Metal Gear Solid game, and all the Metal Gear Solid kids will be like, "Oh fuck, I gotta buy this."
Well, and that's the reason why I made the April Fool's post because I was just thinking logically, like if you're going to release this game, why not put Bayonetta on disc, put her on the cover art, and push it as a like Bayonetta and Anarchy Reigns All Stars fighting. Like, don't change the title, but if they're still going to make an All Stars racing game and they put Sonic on the front so people buy it, why don't they make Anarchy Reigns as they're making it, but put Bayonetta on the front to sell it?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I mean, even if it's just a little box out saying featuring Bayonetta.
Well, they also have all the Mad World people. I think they could put the lead guy of the Mad World, but I mean, a
Yeah, they
few.
could do that too.
But that game didn't sell as good as Bayonetta.
No, I mean it's got a little cult following, so
I mean, yeah, it's not a bad idea. We can move on to arts and crafts. There's actually a pretty good arts and crafts, I think. The
did you
Sonic,
like that?
yeah, I liked it. You did a really good job.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about I've been doing one of these. I was working a long time ago on Yakuza 3 box art.
Oh, cool for the Genesis.
Well, not for not for the Genesis. To make it match. Well, at the time when I started it, there wasn't a box art for 4 yet,
Right.
so it's that long. Um, I was just gonna make it look like the Japanese one, but in English.
Hmm.
But now I kind of want to go back and see if I could try to do it like 4 and Dead Souls, so that way they all match.
You should do that. That'd be
But
fun.
I don't have the artistic ability.
Oh, you have to hire a designer then.
Fuck. I was gonna ask Barry to do it for me.
Well, I did it just because I like to do little side projects to keep me on my game because I like my day job, but it's not as varied as like
You have
one
to
week
put. You have
doing.
to put. You work for a school, right?
Yeah, and so we
So
we do we generally do the same design for everything with minor changes over time. And there's still room for creativity, but like sometimes I feel like I really want to do something that I'd never actually get paid for. So, I make the Genesis box and I try to make it look as real as the old one as I can. And
I'm pretty sure I
it's
could. I'm
fun.
pretty sure I could do it. It's already done. It's done, dude. I already have it done in my head.
Do it.
It's done.
Good
No,
job.
I
It
am.
looks great.
Congratulations to me.
You should
Um.
show it off on this podcast. We're looking at it right now.
Oh, it looks pretty good, huh?
That looks great. You should
You.
upload it.
What you don't know is that we're on camera right now, and I'm not wearing
Yeah,
any pants, just showing off a box.
I like it.
It's pretty nice. Um.
Nice.
Oh, we should talk about announce the games since there's quite a bit now.
Yeah,
Most of
yeah,
them are
there's
Japan only, which is kind of weird. But
oh,
you want me
they're
to
all
start?
from Japan except for one. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, go ahead.
Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed. You ever heard of this one?
No, I haven't. I should look at segabits.com and see if there are any featured stories about it. Oh, look, there's
Like a
six of them
million.
right here.
6 of them on the front page.
Weekly 5 Rewind, Tuesday Tunes, interview, Sonic Talk, preview, and the announcement.
If you want to know anything about this game, go to our site because we have probably like 6, 7 more articles than any other site does.
Yeah, I don't think I'm bragging when I say that we've done more coverage for this than any other site.
Yep.
Even Sonic Stadium.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're beasting on this. I
No,
mean,
but
it's because
what do you think? What are your honest opinions about the game?
it looks great. I like the first game. I don't understand why people hate it. I think that the hate is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Like I think I mean I like Made Man. I mean Made Man,
Yeah.
but he didn't like the game because there's I mean like just little things like having its own drift button. I don't see what's wrong with that.
He said that it kept drifting, like it was continually drifting, which sounds like his controller was broken.
I don't know. I mean maybe he just doesn't like those kind of games, and that's cool with me. But like I don't know how
Yeah.
you could say it's a bad game. Like
Yeah, and I mean, give it a chance. I mean, at this point, it's so cheap that you could get it in a bargain bin, so you might as well try it. I mean,
yep. Even though this, I said this on the initial review, regardless of
yeah.
the character selection, which wasn't the greatest, I thought
Hmm.
I had a lot of fun with the game, and I can't give it a bad score just because I'm like, I'm a Sega freaking nerd, and I'm like, I want all these people in it, I have like a list of people I would want in it,
Right.
and but for what it was, even if it was just Sonic Racing and only had crappy Sonic characters,
Yeah.
I would have still enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's still a good game.
I like Mario Kart games, and I hate every character in those stupid games.
That's a very good point. That's the only, like, I am not a Mario fan, but even when I went over to my friend's house when I was little and we were playing Mario Kart, I got into it. I could care less because you're looking at the back of the character's head anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
But I understand I understand why people would care a lot about this game because they're all Sega fans, so it's
Hmm.
personal.
Hmm.
But of course, this one's already looking good. Just the initial announcement.
Yeah, it's funny too because with the first game we weren't sure if it was going to be awful or if it was going to be good, but now like coming into the announcement of this, no one's questioning the physics like they do with the Sonic 4 games, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no question that the game's going to play really well. So it's kind of funny because we're sitting here like when I look at the forums, no one's really arguing. They're just kind of like, "Oh, it looks awesome."
And I notice all the comments are always, "I want X person in X game in the game." So
Yeah.
it's like they're already looking at what characters they want. They're not even gonna say it's a bad game. Or the comments are, "Take my money." They all want it now.
Well, since we're calling people out that we know, how about Sega Uranus or Uranus uh, and his comment that it looks too kiddie. It doesn't look like it has like a Sega game because
Uh,
it's too kiddie.
uh, Kitty. I wouldn't go that far, Kitty, but I'm assuming that's the demographic Sega's also wanting to take. I
Hmm.
mean, I understand what he's coming from, but
Hmm.
I think in the end, I don't think it looks kiddie. Like I don't understand what's kiddie about it. They don't have Sesame. I mean, Sonic is a kiddie franchise for kids, right?
Yeah,
And I would say it's more for everybody, but I don't
I
know.
guess maybe since it's not made in Japan, it lacks that kind of Japanese look for the Sonic franchise.
The
You know,
game
there's kind of
the game looks like the first game. I thought graphic wise, I mean quality,
oh yeah, definitely.
which is
I
not
think there's
bad.
no. They say it's a new engine, but I think it just looks like a better version of the previous game, but not to the point where I could say that it looks like a new engine. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like we're talking about like Yakuza 3 versus Binary Domain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not that big of a leap, I thought. But I this is the kind of this is one of those games where I don't think graphics. I mean, it's like Sonic games. They don't have the greatest textures and stuff,
Hmm.
but they look nice because the art style's there. Like they hit those art styles,
Exactly.
out of
Yeah,
the
as
park.
long as they nail all the franchises.
And I heard one of the complaints on the first one, which they didn't do on this one, was the cell shading. They wanted beat to be cell shaded.
Is that possible to do one kind of graphic style? And
I don't see why not. It would have been cool if he had a power up where like everything turns into shaded, and then it
hmm
goes back.
yeah,
Like you know what I mean? When he's in power, everything turns cell shaded. That'd be pretty cool.
that would be cool. I was hoping they'd have the girl from the Puyo Puyo games, and when her all-star move, she fills the screen with the Puyo Puyo, and you have to play a mini game to clear the
Oh,
screen or
that's
something.
brilliant. We should just work at Sumo Digital. Go get an application. Come up
Well,
with
remember in their interview they said we're a bunch of Sega nerds, and I was like, well, just hire some ex-Sega nerds,
yes.
writers and forum members.
We'll figure it out. Well,
Yeah.
you gotta understand too, though. They probably don't get everything they want either. Like they're
Oh
probably asking
no.
Sega for so much stuff, and they're like, "No, that's not gonna happen."
How about those rumors that were coming out of a certain Sonic fan site?
Why don't
Have
you
you
say the
read
name of the
those?
site?
What was that?
Say the Sonic's fan site name.
TSSZ.
Oh, I know them. They post
Yeah.
really cool Swingin Report shows.
They're probably listening to it before we upload it to the anyway. But I thought their supposed leak was pretty funny because it was basically everything you would expect to have been happening anyway, except they'd always be like, yeah, Rystar and Vector Man are being considered. They might be in the game. And it's like, well, dude, people have been speculating about those two since 2010.
I've
And
noticed that a lot of his rumor posts are just obvious shit, and then when it doesn't come
yeah,
true, like stuff that we kind of would guess, like okay,
yeah,
that could happen, and
yeah,
so he'll just post it as a rumor, and I don't even think he has sources. He just bullshits for
yeah.
his.
And the thing is too, it's like he was saying, well, we did get the title right and we got Vice right. And I'm like, yeah, because
People
every
went to
single
the
fan
event.
site, I mean, a week and a half ago, people knew about Vice and they knew about the title of the game.
Yep.
I mean, it's no, anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny.
And that's the reason they weren't invited either. So
That's the
whatevs.
hilarious thing. They basically,
They post
oh,
shit whenever they get it. They're not. That's not journalism. That's bullshit.
yeah, it is bullshit. They're the TMZ of fan sites. That's why they start with T and end with Z, just like TMZ.
They should just stick to. They should just stick to writing about other community sites.
I know. Ken Penders.
Oh, well, we should talk about Project Zone, X Zone.
What do you think of that?
Well, I don't. Let me just explain what it is because I don't think a lot of the. I don't know if everybody is aware of the game, but it's a Capcom slash Sega slash Namco crossover title. That's going to be a strategy. Well, I don't know if it's a strategy, but it's an RPG, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
where you pick pairs of characters from each company's franchises, and you kind of just go around killing things. I guess I don't know the story, but uh, we have a list of all the people that have been confirmed. Do you want to go through them, or should we just forget it?
Let's go through the Sega ones at
All right,
least.
you go to the
Uh,
Sega ones because I don't even know how to say these Resonance of Fate characters' names.
okay, Renaissance of Fate. That's the one with the RPG with the guns, right? That
Yep.
failed.
Yeah. Yeah. By Trigun.
Leanne,
Try. No.
Leanne, and Zephyr.
Yeah.
So what do you? I mean, first off, I think this game is never coming to the U.S. just because there's so many
Japan only.
weird niche. Yeah, like I remember people were reading about it and they go, "Oh, Sonic and Tails." I'm like, no, Sonic and Tails are probably not going to be playable characters,
No.
if in it at all.
I think. Yeah, I think this is gonna be Japan only, just because. Um, the first one for the PS2, they did a
Yeah,
Capcom versus Capcom slash whatever Namco game,
yeah,
and that only came out in Japan for PS2, and PS2 had a larger fan base here, so you know, and I
yeah.
don't think it's gonna come out here. And it was the same concept, except that you only choose one character, I think, in your
Well,
team.
with the next one, it's Sakura Wars series, which only had one title released over here, and it wasn't even by Sega, or it was by Sega, but it wasn't published by Sega.
It was published by something
It's behind
USA.
NIS America,
Yeah, there you go.
and that's Shinguji Sakura and Ogami Ichiro.
If you said it wrong, don't hate, dude.
I'm not a
Credit to
fan.
you guys.
I'm not a otaku.
Uh,
Let's see. We have Pai and Akira from Virtua Fighter. They're
which is
well known,
Yeah, there's a well-known ones.
and Kurt and Rila.
Yeah,
Ryla?
that's Valkyrie Chronicles 3 characters.
Oh, and that's not over here, is it? That's not released here. And then finally, it's Ulala and Tuma. Tuma.
Yeah,
Tuma.
that's Shining Force EXA or whatever, the last guy, and then Ulala is obviously from Space Channel 5.
And then finally, Harrier and Opa Opa appear,
Yeah,
as well as I think a guy from a game that was on the Ultimate Genesis collection. I can't remember the name of it. Eswat, maybe.
the Iswa guy was there?
Well, I think one of the enemies from it was there.
Maybe. Well, this thing's probably gonna have like a lot of cameos because it looks very low budget and like it's probably very easy to do cameos. Like
Yeah, sprites are cheap.
you mean like they'll probably do a lot of moves where it's like, oh, Shinobi, you know what I mean? And then like a little ninja comes out and cuts the screen.
Yeah, that was how that that one game where you play as the consoles, but they're girls. What's that thing called?
Fuck, I forgot. I saw a lot of Sega sites covering it, but we didn't cover it after the Japan. I mean, I covered it when it was first announced, but after a while,
Yeah,
it was very not Sega-ish. Like it was
they
companies that had nothing to do with Sega, so I just stopped.
they had a few special moves with Sega characters, but they were just like still frames of the character standing
Yep,
there, which is not that exciting.
yep, exactly. I haven't even bought it. I was gonna buy it, but I already have way too many games to play. I bought a few games the other day, and I'm like, I should have bought that.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
with you.
the next
So,
game. You want to go to the next game, or you want to talk about Zone?
yeah, let's move on to the next game. We're never actually going to have this released here unless you import it. So, it's the Sega Gaga of 2012.
Yep.
We have Fist of the North Star Packgeschlacht.
Well, it's a slot game. That's what they call them in Japan. It's basically
Packgeschlacht.
that slot game that you gamble, but they're gonna port it to the PS3 for some reason.
That's weird.
That's what I said. I was like, why can't they just they have a really cool Sega released a really cool 2D. Oh, Sammy did. This is actually
Yeah.
a Sammy game too, not a Sega game. But
Oh,
Sammy released a really cool Fist of the North Star fighting game on the
okay.
PS2 in Japan only. But they decided to port this game over. It makes no fucking sense.
That's weird.
They should have, if Sega was smart, they would just get that one,
Yeah.
and just release it on PSN for $10, $15, like Skullgirls, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
That's weird.
Cool. But
So instead, it's a slot machine on your PlayStation 3.
yeah,
I mean, I can see the draw of pinball machines because you can't find them that much and they're fun, but a slot machine's just go play Sonic 2.
dude, Japan's weird, man. I don't know. It's
You
probably
got slot
15
machine.
million copies.
Yeah. God, we should just retitle this one Weird Japanese Games We're Never Actually Going to Play Over Here.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Well, there's gonna be two more games right now, but
We have,
initial.
yeah, let's move on. I have nothing to say about slot machines.
Yeah, me neither.
Initial D Arcade Stage 7 AAX.
It starts location testing next month. If you ever play the arcade games, it's based on a manga, but kind of.
I've seen them, I've never played them.
Yeah, they used to have this really cool arcade release where you actually get in a real size car and you play on a huge ass screen and you're playing down like mountains, like drifting through mountains, so
Well,
you
that's
won't fall
wild.
out. It looks pretty cool. It's they're pretty cool games. A lot of people like them, but
Hmm.
they're never released over here. So,
Are
but
they are the manga, are those released by Sega or is it?
no, they're released by another company. They just have the license to it. In
Oh,
America, it used to be released by a company called Tokyo Pop. They went out of
okay.
business like a couple months ago,
Hmm.
but they're supposed to be trying to get back into manga again, so they might start releasing them again.
Hmm. That
Um,
one sounds kind of cool. I remember seeing pictures of them, the early Initial D games.
I'm sure if you want to, there's a lot of manga scans around on the internet. I'm sure you could read it for free if you really, really wanted to.
No.
Just letting the fans know.
I might check it out. Who knows?
And the last game, the next Hatsune Miku game gets detailed, leaked early, and is coming to Vita and PS3.
Hooray!
No, we're not gonna play that game, but that's cool,
No,
I
we'll be
guess.
playing Miku Flick on our iPhones for $14.
Fucking rip off, man.
I know people complain about Sonic 4 being $15 on XBLA, but $14 for a touch game, like
And I heard it sucks too.
it looks like it sucks.
Rumors?
Rumors, Bayonetta 2 canceled before it's announced. What do you think of this? Do you think it's real?
I think it's bullshit.
I do think it's
I don't.
bullshit.
I don't want to fucking. I'm not calling out. I know that the writer. I'm probably. I don't know. I didn't check the article who wrote it, but I know that the guy from. It's most likely the guy from Sonic Stadium. What's his name?
Sven,
Uh,
he was on Sonic Talk.
yeah, him. I'm pretty sure he wrote the article. I read some of his articles. He's a great writer, but he said
Oh, he's a
that
cool guy.
he said on the article that the reason was because it was I guess commercial, like had little commercial success.
Right.
And I've heard otherwise from Sega. Like even the guy, one of the Sega employees, I linked to the article where I posted it, said
Yeah.
that game sold well.
Yeah,
And
I didn't understand that either. It didn't make sense. It
it
did
sold
sell well.
it sold them over 1 million. It was like 1,300,000 last time I checked. So I wouldn't consider 1 million. I mean, I doubt that Bayonetta had like a Uncharted budget.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Uncharted does like 4 million, which is 4 times more. But I'm pretty sure the budget's a lot higher.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, I think that's I think canceling that game because of that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad sales. If they cancel it,
No.
maybe it's because maybe Platinum Games wants too much money since they're Playboys now because they're with Namco. I mean, they're with Konami doing the Metal
Hmm.
Gear game.
Could be.
But they don't sound like those type of guys that would just be all like, "Yeah, we're rock stars now, dude."
No, I think they have a little, they're creative. Yeah, they're artists.
We didn't
So.
we didn't post this, but apparently Sega Shiro, which is another great Sega blog you guys should visit when you guys have time after you
Hmm.
visit ours.
Yes.
They posted that a tweet that one of the employees from Platinum Games said. They said, "Hey, look, I guess our game's canceled. Bayonetta 2 is canceled. What do you guys think, huh?" Like they were sarcastic or something. Like they even called it bullshit. So
It's got like it's like this marine with a glowing eye and Bayonetta, and it
you
says
saw it?
Bayonetta 2.
You saw it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. I thought that was funny. So I think it's bullshit. I mean, so I think there is a Bayonetta 2, and I think it's gonna probably be at E3.
Could
Because I think
happen.
Sega knows that there was a big response to Bayonetta. I mean, remember all those pictures that came out in E3? Everybody was dressing like her.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I could see Sega not canceling it. They know
I
better.
mean, and the thing is too, that's Sega of America. This is a Japanese game that would sell very well in Japan, wouldn't it?
It did pretty well. It did way better than Vanquish and
Yeah, and so
Binary Domain.
I can't see why the game would get canceled because of Sega America's restructuring, especially since it's a Japanese title.
Yep. I agree.
If anything, we wouldn't see it released over here, but they would get it. But even then, I think the game was popular enough in both regions to warrant a sequel.
I agree.
Then
Oh,
we are in agreement.
yes, very rare. Now we agree a lot
Yeah,
sometimes.
we do. We used to fight, but not anymore.
No, now we calmed down. We got older.
Yeah, we did get older.
We got slower. Sega news. Oh yeah, this is the stuff. This is the stuff we're going to talk about, right? Sega
Yeah,
was
let's do it.
structuring, downsizing, and canceling certain games. You could give you give us just give us an overview of what this restructuring means.
Well, basically, they fired all their QA testers in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Most of them
that
actually, most of them in Europe too.
most of them in Europe too. Okay.
Even our
And
we have a forum member. I don't remember. I don't know if you remember her. Ulala
mhm,
Hive. She was doing Italian. I think she was translating Italian stuff, and she
uh-huh.
got fired. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but they
I
said they might
didn't.
call her back, but probably not. I mean,
Hmm. But I mean, a lot of it was stuff that they had started at Sega Europe a year or two ago.
it has been going on,
So,
and
yeah, so it's
I kind of think
I
that Sega Japan is the one that's causing a lot of the drama, that all this shit, because they're still releasing arcade games. Like, how popular are arcade games?
I over here not very.
Well, I know they're releasing them over there, but they do a lot of games that it's like, okay, how is this going to appeal worldwide? Like, I think it's a bigger risk to release a new IP that's aimed only at Japan.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. I just think they could be doing more to be global. I think I think Europe and America,
Hmm.
they kind of have like, they kind of know most of the stuff, like,
Hmm.
okay, Sonic's going to be a popular game. We should just sponsor the crap out of it. Or we should
Yeah.
do Jet Set Radio, sponsor the crap out of it. But I think Sega Japan is like, I don't know. I don't think they get it.
They never made sense to me.
I think they're like I'm not a professional at Sega Japan because I don't know Japanese, so I don't see their press releases or anything. But
Right.
Storm tells me they don't really give a shit. Like, it just feels like they just put on press releases and they're more
Yeah.
formal, I guess.
I mean, I've kind of gotten that from Sega of Japan for a long time, even during the console years. It seemed like the Americans and European side of things were a lot more in touch with their fans than the Japanese side.
Especially with the community teams.
Absolutely. Which actually, in terms of downsizing, there were a few people laid off. I believe. Uh, oh damn, I forgot her name.
Kate Bryant.
Kate Burning.
Well, her nickname is Kate Burning, but her real last
Yeah.
name is Bryant, which is a Virtual Fighter last name. I don't know why she just doesn't keep it.
Yeah, I don't know.
She'd be proud.
Yeah. But I mean, in the end, it was unfortunate that some people lost their jobs, but it the writing was kind of on the wall in terms of Sega Europe was slowly cutting their team, and so
There is no community team in Sega Europe
there
anymore.
isn't anymore. No, no. And in terms of canceling certain games, the thing is that we haven't heard what they canceled, and we might not hear about that for a long time. So the only ones I can think of, uh, like I was talking about earlier, Anarchy Reigns, we haven't heard anything. There hasn't been, even though there's trailers releasing in Japan, there hasn't been any of those trailers uh,
Here,
released over here.
which is weird because they
Yeah,
usually
those.
before they usually
Yeah,
do like the day before, after I think.
yeah, they were doing it like a year ago. I remember getting Anarchy Reigns trailers.
Yep, we were pretty excited
So,
about it back then too, but I don't know now.
and Hardlight Studios, it seems like that might not be happening.
Yep. They also no, the only thing they seem to really be focusing on and talking about right now is
Hmm.
like alien stuff. Like we just had an alien news, like you know what I mean? We had
Yeah,
like
I mean
alien
that's one
news.
of their big franchises they consider now.
Yep, which is kind of dumb, I
So,
think.
I mean, it's kind of smart too, though, because Prometheus is coming out this
Um,
year.
I mean, I don't mind them. I just don't think that's going to be long term success. Like, there's
No,
just
no,
so
I
much
don't
that the
either.
fans are going to want to take of that.
I don't think we're going to be seeing Aliens as a huge franchise in 5 years, but I think in the short term it is a big franchise for
And they need
Sega.
money, so
Yeah, plus they have a good developer behind it, unlike the Marvel games.
yep.
So, but that was basically it. And in terms of the whole Kotaku and the four franchises, those were just franchises that they listed, which was Total War, Alien, Soccer Manager, or Football Manager, and Sonic.
And
But
everybody said that all well, and then again, Anarchy Reigns isn't an American game; it's a Japanese game.
mhm.
But that just means that Sega of America could be like, we're not going to publish it.
Yeah, there might be less. But the thing is, I say that there might be less Japanese games published over here, but has there been a lot of them published to begin with? I mean, we haven't seen.
I mean, I don't want to be I mean, like come out like a dick, but like 2 years ago they were doing pretty well. They did, Valkyrie Chronicles 2. They did Fantasy Star Zero. They did Fantasy Star Portable 2. They did quite a bit that I didn't think was going to come over. And then they
Yeah.
also announced Yakuza 3, Yakuza 4, and then Yakuza Dead Souls, which I didn't think we're ever going to get Yakuza games back over here again.
So they were good with it, I
I
guess.
mean,
It's just.
I think they should stick with stuff that sells. I think Yakuza franchise does well enough for to be brought over, I guess. Or
And
they bring
Fantasy
bring
Star
it.
Online, they better release that over here at some point.
So I think Anarchy Reigns is a Platinum Games game. So I think it should be released here, just because I don't know. I like the developers.
Yeah, same here.
So I would want to play that game online.
Yeah,
And they also haven't
definitely.
announced the Fantasy Star Online 2, which is kind of stupid because it's free to play. So it's like
Yeah,
it's gonna
they're
be
still going
released
through
free
the
online.
beta. Yeah, maybe they're hoping that Sega of Japan will do all the work in terms of ironing out all the problems with the beta, and then once the game's actually perfected,
I
they'll
actually
release it.
would very much prefer if Sonic Team Japan just handled everything. Mostly because that was an issue with Universe and Blueburst and the original, that we would get content long, like we have to wait like almost a year to get content usually. For like Fantasy Star Universe, we didn't get the expansion packs till way after Japan got it.
Right.
So it's like everybody's losing interest because they've already seen all the Japanese players unlock everything. So I mean, if Sega Japan just does it and they translate it and they release the update on every region at the same time, it would
hmm
be better for everybody.
And they just do a digital release for the PC. I mean, they're set.
But hopefully that doesn't mean that Sega America's like, okay, we don't have to talk about it anymore. They don't have to do articles about it.
Yeah.
That's kind
Because
of
in the past, I was really pushing for like an Xbox and PlayStation 3 version. Now I'm not, I don't really care. I'd rather them just release the game in some form. And if it's PC, then I'll buy Windows 7 and use Boot Camp on my Mac to run two operating systems.
Windows 7 is not that bad of an operating system either.
No.
It's just kind of don't get 8. 8 sucks. Oh god, it sucks so bad.
I wouldn't touch it.
It's terrible. I can't believe it. Like it's pretty
Really,
bad.
I just get an operating system that would be compatible with Phantasy Star Online too,
Yeah,
because that's the only
7 is
reason.
perfect.
Cool.
Okay. Talking about layoffs. Mike Hayes, Sega West CEO, is leaving Sega this summer.
What do you know about that? I didn't really read too much about it.
I didn't even read it either. I saw it was an Akiat article, and I was like, skip. I read the title.
Well,
That's good enough for me.
yeah, that's all you need to do. No, they said he wasn't leaving yet, that he was leaving this summer, correct?
That's what. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what you
I
said.
assumed. I assumed Japan's just punishing him for all this crap that's happening, but I don't think it's his fault, to be honest with you. I think it's more Sega Japan's fault.
Yeah.
How can you like? How can he like? Also, I think it's stupid. I mean, I think it's a smart thing hiring one CEO for 2, but he barely started and they expected results that quick. Like, come on.
Yeah, that happens at my work. We bring people on and like 6 months later they're gone because they didn't make results, even though they're trying to deal with the, past problems that they didn't even put into place.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'd hate to be a CEO. You see how much they get paid, but then Jesus, they get laid off so quickly.
They don't say like they just said that he's leaving in the summer, but they don't really say like if he's leaving to another company.
Or if he was, yeah, I don't know if he was fired or if he's leaving on his own.
See, that's the problem. When the CEO gets fired, they don't really say fire. They just tell him like, oh, they're leaving to something better or something.
He had personal problems, personal issues.
They don't. I've never heard a Sega CEO get fired, but I think the last American CEO, I think he did get fired, to be honest with you, but because Sega West was doing really really shitty when he was there.
What year was that? 2007,
6, 7.
Yeah, those were awful years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was doing terrible. So, and then Mike Hayes took over or whatever, which I think he was doing a lot better.
Well, there was restructuring over in Japan. That's why Nagoshi got his new position. So maybe it's just having to do with the whole restructuring.
They also have another guy that I don't know who's going to take over his spot, but whoever it is, it better be a fan, not a, oh, dude, we should just get licensed games guy from EA.
Oh, God, that would be awful.
So he's leaving. It could be good. It could be bad. We'll see in the future.
We shall see.
Oh, talking about not releasing demos, Rhythm Thief and the Emperor's Treasure demo seems to not have been released, even though they announced it with a date.
Well, at least it's coming out.
It's coming out, they say, but maybe I think they pushed the demo ahead a few weeks because I don't think it comes out till July. So
yeah, I guess it wouldn't make sense to release a demo for a game that comes out in like 3 months.
Yeah, so I think that's what really happened, hopefully, and then it gets released, but we'll see.
Nice.
Now we can talk about Sonic 4 Episode 2 Beta being leaked on Steam.
Yeah, that was a goof, wasn't it?
Did you see it? I didn't see any footage because I didn't want to like kill my expectations. So
well, I was just logging on to the Sonic Stadium forums one day, and someone in their little status update was like, well, just downloaded Sonic 4 Episode 2 and I'm playing it right now. And I was like, what the fuck? And I went on the forums and I read about the leak, and it's just like, why would that happen? Why would they put the full game up and when you pre-order it, it downloads? Like, that's such a fucking goof.
I think it was Steam's side that fucked up.
It was absolutely Steam. It's really weird. But no, I watched the first act of the first stage and the first act of the second stage, which were the ones they were showing off anyway.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see them without all the people shaking their camera around and talking. And I watched... What else did I watch? I watched the first part of the episode Metal, but I didn't watch anything else because I did that with Episode 1, and even though Episode 1's not the greatest game, it kind of spoiled any surprises I would have had. So it looks good, though. It definitely the bosses look awesome, even though I didn't watch any of them. I looked at the little YouTube preview images, so
yeah, it looks decent. I mean, it's a beta, but I think Sega's just trying to ignore it never happened. Oh, what? What are you guys talking about? I never heard of it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Actually, I didn't think that leak was that bad, actually. Like,
I think it was good because a lot of the people are actually now saying, hey, it's pretty good. You should download the game. It's actually good a good kind of leak rather than the last time the game leaked and it delayed the game by 3 months.
Yeah, well, that's good news. I think more people are going to buy it because of the leak now.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the good thing is didn't they have to spend money to download it to begin with?
yeah, they had a
The
free purchase.
pre-order.
Yeah.
So, good. Win-win.
Rhythm Thief bombs in the UK. Well, that's cool, I guess. I think it
Nice.
did. How much did it do? Units? I didn't even check. I forgot.
Very badly.
Yeah, and okay. First of all, people would probably say, "Oh, it's all Sega's fault." Well, actually, it isn't Sega's fault this time. This game was published by Nintendo, which you probably
Hmm.
know that in Europe it was published by Nintendo, so they were doing the advertising and all that crap, and it didn't even do well. I don't. I don't know if Nintendo can't make a game sell. I don't know how Sega's gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, and it looks like a fun game and a good game, but it's not an exciting game. It's not a game where you're like, I really want to play a rhythm game where I play a guy who runs around in a suit. You
Yeah,
know, there's nothing exciting about it. It looks like a fun game, but I think in today's uh, world, especially when it's a what do you call them? Not like a cartridge release or whatever they call those little things, chips.
yeah.
It needs to have a reason like to grab you and make you want to play it.
I
And
think
I don't think,
I think the rhythm games are kind of like very small now. Like I don't think there's
yeah.
that many people looking actively for more rhythm games.
Once you have one, you're kind of set. It's hard to like say, yeah, I own about 10 rhythm games on my 3DS.
The fucked up part is that if they put Space Channel 5, it probably would have sold like 10 more copies.
Oh, absolutely. If it was Space Channel 5 Part 3, I don't
Or
know.
or even Space Channel 5 1 and 2 put together, just a port would have sold better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I think the good thing is it's a new IP. It's an actual internal new internal IP.
And
So,
that's what I'm kind of mad that it's doing so badly because it is a new Eternal IP. So, I
and
mean,
actually speaking of we should just talk about Binary Domain at the same time because that's sold poorly in North America, and
who
that's a
did
new internal IP too.
Yeah, I know. And who didn't see this coming? Like I even asked them in the interview, do you think the game's going to do well because to be honest, I already saw the marketing, I mean the hype not being there.
Hmm.
The hype wasn't there before it released. I could have seen this from a mile away that it wasn't going to sell well. Like
Hmm.
I don't understand how Sega was act. I mean, I heard some people tell me that they told Sega on Twitter that they need to talk about it more, and apparently they
Hmm.
got mad. I guess they told people were telling them.
Yeah, they did.
So how? I mean, these are just fans trying to tell them that you're not doing that great of a job. You should probably improve yourselves. They should have just done a couple more articles and talked
Yeah.
about the bosses and how cool the bosses were. Instead, they
And
were talking about I don't know, nothing. So I don't even know what they were posting. Like developer interview, like they did one developer interview and a few things for other sites.
I don't know. I mean, maybe the thing is they have a really small community team, and so if they don't have people on their community team who are really fans of the game, not because they work for Sega, but because they actually like the game, then it's going to be hard for them to push the game within the community forums or the blog because they really don't know how to write about it. They're basically like, "Hey, here's the new Binary Domain trailer. Check it out. It's a good game." I
And
mean,
they also get a budget. Like they have a budget of what they could do, and that's the budget they
absolutely.
use to make merch. They use that money to
Exactly.
make merch, and that merch to give it out. Binary Domain was kind of hard to make merch of. Like outside of shirts and like backpacks, what else can you do? You know, I think they
Yeah.
did a lot better with the Yakuza Dead Souls because the merch was already made in Japan, so they just imported it. They just Sega Japan just gave them merch. So
Yeah.
I think Binary Domain probably didn't even have merch in Japan, I guess either. I mean,
If they really had to push it in North America, instead of pushing the cover shooter aspect or the military, like, carrying your friend on your back while you're shooting your guns and screaming on the box art,
the box art was terrible. They should have just hired you to make a box art.
well, what they should have done is they should have pushed that it's the game with the insane bosses, like,
Yep.
and just continually say in interviews, this isn't just a regular cover shooter. This game has insane giant robot bosses.
Okay, you know how? Okay, I've noticed this. I noticed this trend. Okay, I'm not an advertising wizard, but have you noticed that in America the way games are being advertised? Have
How
you
so?
noticed they do a sad song
Hmm.
and they play something in slow motion that has nothing to do with gameplay.
I've seen that. Yeah, they did it for Binary Domain. They did it for Yakuza.
They didn't. Well, I'm saying not even that. I'm talking about like in America, like other companies. Like there was that
Oh,
Gears of
absolutely.
War trailer. There was even that Bulletstorm game got like a sad trailer, like sad music, slow motion.
Yeah, it's always like a guy running through the battlefield in the bullets, but there's no sound, and you just hear this guitar, and the guy's like, "Everyone's gone away."
Yeah, and like why? Why is that? Why do people like that so much? It started actually with Halo 2, which actually I think the commercial won an award, and then
Yeah.
everybody just copied them. I was watching the commercial for not Infamous, the other game that wants to be like Infamous, Prototype. No,
Hmm.
it's not really like Infamous, but they're comic book heroes, I guess. I was looking at the commercial, and it's like real life footage. It looks really cheesy, and it's actually pretty. I thought it was pretty bad. I thought it was a pretty shitty commercial. But
Hmm.
everybody on my friends list is like, the game looks awesome, and I'm like, they didn't even show gameplay footage of it, and everybody's buying it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Sega, just copy these goddamn commercials to sell binary domain.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like that Kill Bill aesthetic where it's like playing, like Nancy Sinatra songs while she's walking really slowly with a sword,
It looks cool.
It does look cool, but after a while it just becomes white noise. And I think that's why what Binary Domain needed to do was on their box art have the main character and the French robot, because that's a really, like, when you see that, you're like, whoa, what's that? He's got a little scarf on, he looks really weird. And have them and like Big Bo, because he's like big black man, and they're really tiny on the box, and then they're next to a building. On top of the building, this giant robot spider's coming over it.
Yeah. Well, if I had to make a marketing aspect for it, I would have probably like if I had the budget and stuff, I probably would have done like got the writers for the thing to do short stories on each character, like in
Yeah,
other missions,
definitely.
do a short animated thing because in the end, they're trying to sell the human aspect of it. And if
Hmm.
the reader could see a small film and know what the character's like, they
Hmm.
probably would have been more attached to the game, I thought. I mean, or at least
That's a
know a
great
little bit
point.
of it.
Yeah.
Because I heard that was one of the complaints. People were saying they're too generic, the characters. And then the other one they could have done was show how insane the bosses were by showing some of the clips of people playing it, like on their site.
Yeah.
That second one is free almost. So I mean, that's what I would have done, and I would have fixed the cover because that cover was terrible.
I want to know the story behind that, and I guess we won't know. I want to know who designed it, like the art director and everything, because didn't Aaron say that?
We're not supposed to talk about that. No, but
What? No, no.
well, he
Didn't
said
he
that,
say?
that Sega does take a long time to choose box art. There's a lot of people that look at it, and I have
Mhm.
no idea how that got approved. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hello?
Anyway. Oh, I'm here.
Yeah, I don't know how that got approved.
I just got depressed and sad about how bad it was, and I went silent.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, we could talk about Fantasy Star Online 2 now, right?
yeah, let's do it. What do we know? How currency works, free to play, etc.
Okay, well, currency, apparently there's going to be three currencies. The regular currency, which is called, what is it called again?
Meseta?
SETA, that's how you say it?
Meseta. I always called it Meseta, but I'm
Oh,
probably wrong.
well, that currency's in the game. It's just regular, and then there's going to be fun points,
Okay.
which I forgot what you use it for. I should probably looked it up. I know, I think fun points, you get them for like stupid shit, like I guess clicking shit. I guess not really clicking shit, but like telling people good job, being social,
Oh, right.
and you get and you could there's just points you could use for like a raffle, and then there's like one more which is like real money. You buy it with
Right.
real money.
I've heard of that stuff.
Yeah, so that and then it's free to play. It's not even going to come out retail. It's going to be digital download, and it's coming for Vita in 2013.
Hmm.
It's going to be PC this summer. There's
Hmm.
a mobile version which is totally separate, totally different game.
Is that going to be on smartphones?
Yeah, iOS and Android I think were named.
If they release that to iOS and PC in America, That would be awesome.
Well, the iOS version is going to be its own game, its own servers. They say it's going to be more simple. I'm assuming it's going to be a lot like Phantasy Star Zero on the 3D on the DS,
That would be pretty cool.
where it's like little areas, and then once you leave the areas, it's like it loads it again because there's only so much RAM you could play with.
Mm-hmm.
But smartphones have a lot of RAM now, so you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, and the next one is two trademarks. Sega has trademarked Flick of the Dead and Valkyrie Duel, which I think are both going to be smartphone games.
Yeah, well, Flick of the Dead is definitely with Miko Flick. It's probably going to be a port of House of the Dead 2 where you like flick and tap the zombies or something like
It'd be
that.
cool if you could type.
That would be fun.
And Valkyrie Duel is probably going to be just maps from the PSP game, but instead you get to play other people instead of having AI. They're probably just going to let you play other people, and I think that would, you know what I mean? Instead of having a story and like writing and voice actors, it's just going to be focused on fighting, scrimmages.
That'd be fun.
So, discussion. Should Sonic? Oh, because I did an article on this. You think
Yeah,
Sonic
explain
2
yourself.
Okay, Sonic 2 Episode 2 isn't announced for the Wii, but I think it should come out for the Wii, and I think I did a pretty good article about it. Basically, Sonic Colors did. Okay. Basically, WiiWare sucks. It shouldn't come out on that thing because nobody buys games on there. I think they should do a collection where they have Sonic CD, which didn't come out on WiiWare, Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, and I guess you could advertise the Metal episode as a fourth game for like $30, and then because we already know that Sonic games do well on the Wii.
Yeah,
Sonic
definitely.
Colors did better than Sonic Generations.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good idea. I think they'll sell I think they'll sell like at least 500,000 copies when it comes to holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Because parents will see, oh shit, Sonic 4? I loved Sonic 3.
Yeah, right.
Something they could play with their kids. So what do you think?
I think that's a good idea. I mean, you've got what was that? The Sega Arcade Classics 2-pack with LA Machine Guns and
yeah, and no, LA Machine Guns in New York something, right?
yeah, New York. It's behind me, but I don't want to look. But anyway, that was $20, and so if you put Sonic CD, Sonic 4 Episode 1 and Episode 2 and Episode Metal on a disc for like $30, right there you're selling it. Well, let's see. Sonic CD was $5. Sonic 4, 30, 35. $30. It's a downgraded version. So yeah, like around $29.99 around the holidays.
Decent. I think they could get away with $50, but I think that's kind of too. That's kind of stretching it. I think, especially since they're waiting, I think $30 is a good price.
And I don't think people would complain about it not having the supposed Episode 3 when that comes out, just because. I mean,
people are going to be on Wii U. So
yeah,
you just release it on that.
I mean, who knows? Maybe if Wii U turns out to get announced at E3 and they're actually going to release it this year, then Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2 might re-release to that. But I think for the Wii itself, it would be a good idea to just do a budget disc release.
I don't think it's that bad. Oh, I think that's the whole episode.
No questions from anyone?
No, I posted on Twitter, and the only thing I got was Shady asking us, "Are we enjoying ourselves?" And I'm not enjoying myself.
No, me neither. I'm very, very
I didn't post
depressed.
anything. I just posted like 5 minutes ago, so that doesn't count.
Oh.
I should have posted before. Ooh, look at we got an IGN retweet from Sega. Get the latest details on Sega's newly announced kart racer. Man, are you kidding me? They should have retweeted us.
Yeah, we've talked about it 6 times.
Yeah, and they've only talked about it one article, and it sucks. No, actually, their stuff was pretty alright.
Yeah, they got a special exclusive.
They always get special exclusives, which is kind of annoying.
They're a preferred media partner.
Well, it's because they pay for their crap, most likely. Well,
yeah, we don't have any money.
Media cover. That probably just means that we get the most hits, so they just give us to us first. That's anyway, the episode is over.
All right.
So we'll see you guys maybe next week. Most likely next week. I'm free next week to do an episode.
I think we should.
Yeah, me too. And we probably should do that Aaron interview soon too.
Yeah, we need to help him push his game before it's not sold anymore.
Exactly. Or we could just talk about Sega stuff like last time.
Yeah, that would be fun. As long as we don't get in trouble. All right. Well,
Good night.
from me, good night. Play the music.
This is your man, V-Style. Right now we reminiscing in the days of old. Salute to all my fallen soldiers. I reminisce of a time gone. I never thought I would be in a war zone. Big salute, recipe to my man Tone. We got a club on, in other words, in the early morning. We used to get chicks in the suite. Casino comps in a large room full of drink. It's me, now we out, let's take a ride. Suicide never tried, yo, my brain fried. He was a true friend. I never thought it would come to an end. Just remember them good days. Hey, how much of my brother is his state? The anniversary, y'all, we gotta celebrate. Cause tomorrow's war, we never hesitate. We like a problem to y'all, you get your face hurt. You just a bum on the street, you gonna get work. And when we get to the end, you're gonna get murked. Get murked. Smile, on the days of old. Salute to all men whose stories are told. Goodbye, we celebrate the days of old. It's time to recognize and honor the cold.
Well, that's right.
Remember the past, drinking all night, straight to my cash. Let a fist fight, stay kicking some ass, having a blast. Yeah. Got the whip, put it in drive, yeah, I'm flying him. In the sports car when I'm on the trip, living real good, yeah, across the grip, some random bit. We ain't having it, living like kings, like life is good. Got that love, but it not on wood. Win another hand, yeah, you wish you could. Talk a little slick, man, I wish you would. Throw your hand game, man, you ain't that good. Keep it to a dog, hope it's understood. Train that could, I'm the train that could. Smile, on the days of old. Salute to all men whose stories are told. Goodbye, we celebrate the days of old. It's time to recognize and honor the cold. Save my life, stop that man from using that knife. Handling a simple or use his mic. Coming with the heavy, never took it light. Breathe real hard, yeah, I know he's tight. If he was a bit, wouldn't lose his bite. Never missed a man that was in his sight. A really good dude, he was quite unlike. When it came to war, understood the plight. Honor that man, never had a gripe. Never come across, he was on the right. Talking cheap, better watch your step. Had to take him out, gotta earn that rep. Rest in peace, do I salute. Silence in the room like we on the mute. Like we on the mute. Smile, on the days of old. Salute to all men whose stories are told. Goodbye, we celebrate the days of old. It's time to recognize and honor the cold. It's your man, V-Style. Big salute to all my fallen soldiers. Days of old.